They called her crazy, mocked her in whispers, because she carried her child upside down through the village. Asterisk. But what they didn't know was the reason would break even the coldest heart.
They called her Mama Teo. She lived in the corner of the village where the ground cracked during dry season and the rain came late. Her house was made of mud and patched zinc, and she sold roasted corn by the roadside, never smiling, never asking for more than what was given. But what made her different wasn't her silence. It was the baby on her back. Every day, she strapped the boy tightly with 2 thick wrappers, but not like every other mother. She carried him upside down, head downward, legs wrapped up near her neck, and his small head swaying against her lower back as she walked. The first time people saw it, they gasped. Some laughed. Others whispered. But Mama Teo never looked at them. She moved through the market like she couldn't hear the noise. Like she didn't care. TSK. That woman must be mad. Does she want the child to grow with no sense? It's wickedness. Someone should report her. They didn't understand. Teo, the baby, never cried. Not once. Even when strapped upside down, even when flies buzzed around his ears in the heat, he stayed calm, wide-eyed, always staring upward at the sky. The women in the village said it was witchcraft. The elders said it was grief. But no one dared ask Mama Teo to her face. Because there was something in her eyes that warned people. You don't want to know. One day, a young nurse named Kemi came into the village from the city. She had been assigned there for a 6-month health outreach. Kemi was kind and curious, and when she saw Mama Teo backing the baby upside down at the market, her heart broke. She walked up to her. "Excuse me, Ma, can I help you rewrap him?" Mama Teo paused. She looked at Kemi the way the sky looks at rain. Quiet. Tired. Kemi smiled softly. "I'm a nurse. I know that's not safe. Maybe I could." Mama Teo didn't shout. She didn't fight. She just whispered, "You want to kill him?" Kemi froze. "No, Ma. I want to help." Mama Teo shook her head. "Then leave him. Let him see the world before it forgets him again." She turned and walked away, her son's head still hanging upside down, but his eyes, they were staring directly at the heavens. And Kemi stood there, confused and suddenly very afraid. Because something about that baby's eyes didn't look like they belonged to this world. Every day for 2 weeks, Nurse Kemi watched from her clinic window. Mama Teo passed by at the same time, baby on her back, head dangling downward, wrapped tightly like he could fall if the earth shook too hard. The child never moved. Never cried. He just watched the sky, as if waiting for it to blink. No one dared stop her anymore. Not after what she told Kemi. "She's not well," one of the older women said. "She lost her husband and 2 children in 1 week. Her mind followed them. She's carrying grief, not a baby." But Kemi couldn't let it go. One afternoon, when the clinic was quiet, she stepped out and followed Mama Teo from a distance. Through the narrow bush paths, across a wooden bridge, past a shrine no one had used in years. Mama Teo stopped under a tree and slowly untied the wrapper. Kemi ducked behind a tree, watching. The child's body hung limp. His eyes were wide open, but not blinking, not moving, not alive. Kemi's breath caught in her throat. She stepped out from behind the tree. "Mama." Mama Teo didn't flinch. She rocked the baby slowly, gently, like he was made of smoke and silence. "He's been like this for 7 months, Mama Teo whispered, her back still to Kemi. "The midwife told me he was dead when I pushed him out." Kemi covered her mouth. "But I heard him laugh the next day. In the wind. I felt his breath in the night. He kicks in his sleep, but only when I wrap him this way." Tears rolled down her cheeks, but she never looked back. "I went to the pastor. He said it was madness. I went to the priestess. She said it was mercy." Kemi stepped forward, voice trembling. "Mama Teo, he's gone." But Mama Teo finally turned around. "No," she said softly. "He's not gone. He's just not allowed to stay, unless I carry him upside down." Kemi's knees buckled slightly. "Why?" And Mama Teo's lips trembled. "Because they said, if his head ever touches the sky, they'll take him back." That night, Kemi couldn't sleep. The village was silent, but her thoughts were screaming. She sat outside her small clinic hut, listening to the night crickets, wondering if grief could really hold a child's soul in this world. By morning, she was knocking on Elder Durogia's door, the oldest man in the village. "Good morning, my child," he said. "Your eyes are heavy." "I need to know something," Kemi said. "About Mama Teo and the baby." The elder's smile disappeared. Ah, he muttered. That one. You're not from here, so you don't know. That woman has seen more sorrow than most hearts can carry. He invited Kemi in, poured her a cup of hot pap, and began the story. 5 years ago, Mama Teo had a husband, Bayo, and 2 sons, strong boys. One day, the youngest fell sick. Then the oldest. Then her husband. All in 1 week. She buried 3 people in 7 days. Kemi clutched the cup with shaking fingers. Some say it was a spiritual attack. Others say it was a curse. Did she lose her mind? Kemi asked. The elder shook his head. No. She went to the river. Kemi blinked. What river? He lowered his voice. The river where the goddess listens. The one people don't go to after dark. She made a deal? Elder Duroji nodded slowly. They say she begged the water to return her child. Offered anything. And when she got pregnant again, she didn't go to a hospital. She delivered alone. And when she came out, the baby wasn't crying. Kemi leaned forward. Stillbirth. They say she fell to the ground, weeping, until the wind started laughing like a child. A chill ran through Kemi's spine. The elder whispered. She went back to the river. And the priestess said, he will live. But his head must never face the sky. Why? Because that's where they are, he said, pointing upward. The spirits. If they see him, they'll remember, and call him home. Kemi stood up, heart pounding. That's just a story. The elder looked at her sadly. Maybe. Or maybe grief is a door, and she opened it too wide. Kemi left the house and ran. Ran through the village paths. Ran until she found Mama Teo, kneeling near the river, whispering. And in that moment the baby smiled. Upside down. But alive. Kemi stood still at the edge of the riverbank. The early morning mist curled around her feet. Mama Teo knelt by the water, humming a melody so soft, the wind had to lean in to hear it. The baby was strapped to her back again, upside down as always. But this time, his eyes weren't just open. They were locked onto Kemi. And they were glowing. Not bright. Not blinding. Just a soft, unnatural light. Like moonlight in a newborn's stare. Kemi took a trembling step forward. Mama, what are you doing? Mama Teo didn't flinch. I'm thanking her. Who? Kemi whispered. The one who let him stay, she said, still facing the water. The one who gave me a chance. Kemi's heart raced. Mama, this child needs to be in a hospital. He's not breathing like normal. He's not eating like a baby should. I feed him at night, Mama Teo interrupted. He only eats when the sky is dark. That's not how life works, Kemi pleaded. That's not how babies survive. Mama Teo finally turned. Her face was tired, soaked with mist, but her voice was steel. Then tell me how he's still here, nurse. Kemi couldn't answer. Mama Teo walked closer. Do you think I want this? Do you think I enjoy walking with fear strapped to my spine? She unwrapped the baby slowly. His body drooped, silent, still. Kemi reached out instinctively. Let me hold him. Mama Teo hesitated, then placed the child in her arms, but facing upward for the first time. Kemi stared into his face. It was peaceful, but too still. Then it happened. The wind stopped. The trees silenced. The river went completely still. And the baby's chest stopped rising. No, Kemi gasped. No, 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 no. Mama Teo snatched him back and flipped him upside down. She began to rock. Hum. Whisper. And slowly a breath. A blink. A blink again. Kemi fell to her knees. This is not life, she whispered. Mama Teo looked at her with tears now rolling. No, nurse. This is love. The kind that says, if this is the only way I get to keep you, then so be it. Kemi stood slowly. But you can't carry him like this forever. I don't need forever, Mama Teo said. I just need one more day. Every day. The village woke early to the sound of bells. Not church bells. Not market bells. These were slow. Hollow. Carried by the wind like whispers from the past. Kemi ran from the clinic barefoot, heart pounding. She didn't know why, but something told her today would be different. She found Mama Teo sitting under the ancient tree by the shrine. The same place where she always went to speak to the one who let him stay. But today, the child was not on her back. He lay in her arms, wrapped right side up. His head cradled gently in her lap, eyes closed. Kemi froze. Mama? Mama Teo looked up, her face soft, but strangely peaceful. I didn't wrap him today, she said calmly. He asked me not to. Kemi's eyes filled with tears. Mama, what do you mean he asked you? In my dream, she said. He smiled. He said he wasn't afraid anymore. He wanted to see the sky. He wanted to be carried like the other children. Kemi knelt beside her. And you let him? Mama Teo nodded. It's his time. I borrowed him long enough. Kemi placed her hand on the baby's tiny chest. Still. Warm, but still. Tears spilled from her eyes. I'm so sorry. Mama Teo wiped Kemi's tears before wiping her own. Don't be, she said softly. You tried to save him your way. I saved him mine. Villagers began to gather quietly, standing in a half-circle around the tree. They didn't laugh. They didn't whisper. Today, they finally understood. A woman who'd been laughed at, ignored, judged, had been fighting heaven for her child every single day. And that morning, she surrendered. Mama Teo stood with strength no one knew she had. She wrapped the child in a white cloth, kissed his forehead, and handed him to Kemi. Give him the burial of a king, she said, because he was braver than most grown men. And as she walked away from the tree, upright, alone, but free, the sky cracked open with sunlight. Not a storm, not a scream, just a quiet blessing for the mother who dared to hold on, until the sky finally let her say goodbye. Some stories aren't meant to be told. They're meant to be felt. If this story moved you, you're in the right place. Subscribe to The Global Storyteller. Because here, every tale carries a heartbeat,